Welcome back one and all, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Torment, Tides of Numenera. Where we left off last time, we had finished talking to Aiden Citabo. There is a lot of people still to talk to in this district. We have the two kids down here, which we didn't bother to talk to yet, Avina and Nim. We also have Finzin over here, and there's an artifact here we should probably investigate, so we're going to do that first. These three triangles float serenely above a scuffed stone basin. You can't help noticing that the citizens of Sagis are giving this monument a wide berth. The largest triangle shines brightly, radiating a soothing warmth. The middle, darker one hovers above it, turning slightly away from the first with what strikes you as disdain. The third is small, dryly amused, and so deeply indigo as to be nearly black. It is removed from the first two triangles. You hesitate. You are sensing emotions from these objects, intent. Something is strange here. Let's look at the basin first. The stone is cracked in places, but far newer than the ancient shapes that float above. You suspect the citizens of Sagis added the basement to make the triangles look less out of place. Let's touch the largest one. You reach out and time slows. Your hand drifts past individual motes of light dappled dust, moving into the warm glow of the large triangle. Calm warmth bleeds up your arm when you grasp the edge of the triangle. It's somewhat rigid and flexible at the same time. You blink, swaying. In the half second before you open your eyes, you hear the thunderous crack of wood on wood and the rumble of distant voices. You snatch your hand from the triangle. Do it again. Soothing warmth creeps up your forearm. You find it hard to focus on the questions that trouble you. One more time. Nothing. Okay. Let's study the medium-sized one. Staring at this triangle is disorienting. The longer you stare at it, the more you feel a tight, coiling sensation in your own head. Standing on your toes and stretching, you manage to brush the triangle's icy face with your finger. The air thickens like a weight over you, and you struggle to keep your eyes open. Between the thumping of your heartbeat, you hear thousands of purposeful, rhythmic footsteps treading endless stairs towards the peak of a vast, echoing room. Try it again. It spins, seeming to pull your thoughts along with it. The smallest one. The tiny object spins slightly faster than the others. The more you stare at it, the more you sense a growing presence in the air, the icy regard of distant eyes. You blink and a strip of light unwinds ahead of you, like a path through infinite murmuring dark. Behind you is an ever-shifting zoetrope of linked motionless U's. It is your past, you realize, every second of it, every choice pouring out of you and trailing away into the black. You open your eyes. You're back at the stone ring, still touching the triangle. All three of them are watching you. You blink again. The strip of light, the surrounding darkness, and in the valley between the slowest pulsing of your heart, you hear the murmurs of countless witnesses, the raised voices of your past and future companions, the heated condemnations of enemies you haven't met yet, and above it all, a trio of voices, one warm, one cold, and one dryly practical. They are speaking a verdict, but you can't hear them over the din. Shout for silence so you can hear the judges. You bellow into the dark, clenching your fists, and the crowd instantly falls silent. So did the judges. In the echoing silence that follows you, you realize that you are alone. You always were. You stride on. The path unravels before your every step. Your past unspools behind you. I'm gonna step off the path. You step into the dark, and the path shifts obediently to follow you. Your choices define it, and not the other way around. You open your eyes. The three triangles hang in the air exactly as they did before, unmoving and silent. The vision is gone, and yet you can feel the choices you've made, curving away behind you like strings of jewels. You straighten, moving into the future breath by breath. You suddenly notice a message carved into the stone ring beneath the triangles. Judge yourself. As you watch, it slowly fades away. Presence is gone. Everything's all still the same, so that's it. We are officially done with that artifact.
On my way.
It looks like there's a broken house here. Maybe this is where the slave girl is. This house was reduced to rubble when a part of the cliff face collapsed. There's evidence that the squatters have slept here recently. A ragged blanket, rotted fruit peelings, and footprints in the dust itself. Something scratches deep within the rubble. It sounds like someone or something is in there. Let's go dig ourselves. You crawl partway inside, pushing aside boards and a thin slab of slate. A small girl gasps, throwing up a hand to block the sudden light. She's young, no more than 10 or 11 years old. She has made herself as small as possible to fit inside the tiny gap in the rubble. Her hair is dark and curly. She pulls herself deeper into the rubble, away from you. Why are you hiding in there? She puts a finger to her lips, then tries to shoo you away. You hear a voice behind you. I told you patience would pay off, lads. Gentlemen, some thugs stroll over. They all carry weapons at their sides, though they walk with a cocky assurance of those who don't expect to need them. I swear I checked this hovel, says one of them. She wasn't here. No one was. How did this giraffe find her so easily? He gestures dismissively in your direction. Don't fret it, Bega. The thug looks you up and down, then calls in the direction of the rubble. Come on, little bird. Doesn't matter how good you are at hiding. You had to come out sometime. She looked like the girl from The Ring for a second there. The girl huddles behind you, keeping you between her and the thugs. Even so, it's obvious she's not sure about you either.
Don't let them take me, please!
Why were you looking for her? The little urchin ran away from her home. Her mother asked us to find her and bring her back to safety. Is that true? No. She grabs at your wrist. They're bad men. They want to steal me. Kidnappers? No, that's just crude. The man crosses his arms. We're delivery men, that's all. The means and motivations of our employers ain't none of our business. He sighs, dropping his facade. He turns towards you with a look that pleads for understanding. But alright, yeah, there is a slaver who put up a fine bounty if we bring her back. It's all legal and none of your business. Best you stay out of it. He says the words kindly enough, but his colleagues' hands are on their weapons. You can't take me. Her grip on your wrist tightens. He found me. He has the discoverer's right. He raises an eyebrow, a bemused smirk playing on his face. Is that so? Well, Spider-Jack, what do you say? Is she coming with us? Or are we taking her from you? Was your bounty put up by Tol Magur? She asked me to find the girl. He wipes his face with one hand. Ugh, so it's competition, is it? Well, that don't change anything. We gotta eat too. It doesn't. Her master has grown tired of waiting for you. I've been sent to collect the girl in your stead, and to tell you the bounty's off. We're decepting. 90's good enough. What? That double-crossing, backstabbing lack-nibber? She promised. He waves an angry hand in the air. Fine, see if we ever work for her again. Come on, lads. No fighting necessary, apparently. From what I've heard about this game, you can avoid almost every fight.
Oh, gods, thank you. They were going to take me back to that woman. I've never met anyone so cruel. When she found me the first time she even... My apologies. I'm still out of sorts. You have my thanks and grace, sir.
Well, this could go badly. For a moment, she looks like she might hug you, but at the last moment she seems to think better of it, and pulls up a short half-dozen steps away. She collects herself, standing straight with her shoulders back. Then she nods, the gesture so polite it's almost formal.
My name is Rin. My home and hearth and bread are yours to use. Except, I don't have any of those things.
She blushes then, looking around self-consciously. Why don't you come with us? She looks at each of your companions in turn. I think I would feel safer here. How long were you hiding in that building? She blinks a little, as if confused or surprised at your question. Then she looks around, shifting nervously from foot to foot. This is my place. This is where I sleep. This is your home? She looks at the shattered wreckage. No, this is just where I was staying. I ran away from my home. It's a long way from here. Where are you from? She looks out at the horizon and makes a vague gesture, really far away, but I'm not sure exactly which direction. She looks around a little, almost as if she were seeking a familiar landmark. It has to be a long way from here. My home isn't anything like this. There were trees upon trees. The trees here aren't trees like... The young girl squints off into the distance. After a moment, her eyes go distant and you realize she's probably not going to finish her sentence. You were saying something about trees? She looks at you oddly. What? No, I wasn't. Without seeming to realize what she's doing, the girl brushes her hand through her hair, and you see the side of her head has been shaved. Large stitches run along her scalp, holding together an ugly cut longer than her hand. The wound is purple and angry looking, only just beginning to heal. It can't be more than a week old. What are you doing here all alone? The girl looks up at you, her forehead creasing a little in irritation. My name is Rin. But then she hesitates and looks down, blinking. She reaches into her pocket absent-mindedly. Did I forget to tell him that? She stands there, motionless for a second, then stops and looks up at you. No, I think I did. She looks up at us. I'm sorry, she says. My name is Rin. My food and fire are yours to use before you go. What happened to your head? Her body grows tense for a moment, her eyes darting around as if deciding whether or not to run away. She glances at the rubble where she had hidden from the thugs. She relaxes, though her eyes are still wary. I was running away. There were some people. Bad people. I ran away and got hurt. Your story doesn't fit. Who fixed your wound and shaved your head? If you could hardly sit up, how did you keep running? She scowls at you fiercely. I didn't know I was talking to a judge, she says angrily. I told you I can't remember, not for the days on either side of whatever happened. She looks away, mouth pressed into firm line. I'm sorry, Rin. I was just trying to help. Looks like you've had a rough couple of days. That's a gold tide. She gives a wavering smile. Oh, it's not all bad. I found some shimmery berries today, so that means I get to play. I wonder if this will poison me later. That's always exciting. Your scar looks pretty bad. Are you okay? She makes a dismissive gesture towards her temple. It's fine. It looks a lot worse than it is, and a lot better than yours anyway. That's true. She smirks, touching the side of her head. The haircut's pretty awful, though, isn't it? I don't think they really need to shave quite this much, do you? I don't know. I think it looks dashing. Fashionable, even. You might start in trend. She gives a wide grin. I'll be the envy of every homeless waif in this entire... She gestures grandly at the landscape, then hesitates. Barrow? Her grin fades as the word comes out of her mouth. Sorry, I meant barrow. She pauses, then says, I know that's not the right word. I mean barrow. Her grin is entirely gone now, and her hands make fists as she looks down at the ground, concentrating. Her lips move, and at first you can't hear anything except for the hint of a whisper. Finally, her body relaxes. Yes, neighborhood. That's the word I was looking for. Neighborhood. She looks up at you and gives you a shaky smile. I offer apologies. It's been a long day. What people were you running away from? Us, basically. She opens her mouth and closes it again. She nods and puts her hand back into her pocket, absent-mindedly. I don't really remember. I think they were stealers? No. What's the word? Robbers. They wanted to rob me. Is there anything I can do to help? She shrugs nonchalantly. I don't know. I'm pretty good here, unless you happen to have any spare food you aren't using, or water, or a blanket, or a new bed, or a house, or, you know, anything at all. Rin starts out talking with a plainful smile on her face, but then her eyes well up. Her voice stays cheerful, even as the tears are running down her cheeks. She wipes them away, embarrassed and angry, but her hands are shaking now, and there are more tears. The words continue to pour out of her. I offer apologies. It's just that I've been hungry for days. I don't know where I am, my head hurts, and nothing makes sense. She laughs then, helplessly with a tinge of trembling panic, finally bleeding into her tone. God's around me. I'm all broken in my head. The moon is wrong, and I'm so tired of being scared all the time. I'll take care of you. Come with me. She blinks up at you and gives you a huge grin. Really? But then she looks at your companions and seems to shrink away. No, I'm alright. I mean, thank you, but I'm alright. We're gonna get her to join us, because I've heard she's a fun companion. Are you sure you won't come with us? Quite sure, yes. Farewell, Rin.
Updated my journal.
Which companion doesn't she like? Probably him. Tiber's probably not the best companion for her. Luckily, we have a thing called a quick save. So let's get Tiber out of our group. Tiber, how's it going?
Thanks for helping me free wrists, lad. Not that the little ingrate appreciated it.
Do you think he'll make good on his threats? Should we be watching our back? I wouldn't worry about it, he says, chuckling. Riss doesn't have as many friends as he thinks he does. I was practically the only one. You're a good friend. Riss is being a fool. Thanks for that, he says, avoiding your eyes. It's refreshing to be believed. A wince flickers across his face, brief as lightning. We're gonna part ways for the moment. He's gonna be at the Caravaness or whatever. I think he's the character that she wouldn't join with, because, I mean, he's not a bad guy, Aligarin or Eratus. So let's see if she'll join us now. Come with me. She looks at the tiny nook she was hiding in, then back at you. Where are you going? Maybe we can find you a doctor. Maybe, she wraps her arms around herself. But what about those thugs? What if someone else comes after me? Or after you? I'm not a fighter, I can't help you. Don't worry about that, I'll keep you out of trouble. Alright, that sounds good then, I'll do it.
I'll remember that.
So, there we go. We have a little girl in our group, Rin.
Ready if you are.
She really is not a fighter. 13 hit points. That is really bad. Well, I mean, it's not awful. Okay, what has she got for abilities? She's trained without armor. She has natural charisma, which means she's good at persuasion, deception, and intimidation. She's a Numen... Wait, that's me. Ha! Whoops. She's a god of hiding. She's great at stealth. She can't use endurance, melee weapons, ranged weapons, medium weapons. She really can't fight. However, she's good at healing, perception, quick fingers, and running. She's really bad at fighting. He's really good at fighting though, so... Or at least moderately good at fighting. He's good at magic-y stuff. And I'm good at... not a whole lot, but I mean... It's not like there's a lot of fighting to be done anyways. Let's bring her along, see what happens. We are good people. I mean, we could always sell her into slavery if we need to later on. That might have sounded a little evil, and it kind of is. Alright, let's examine this thing. This dilapidated structure has been converted into a cheap boarding house. Inside, people sprawl on filthy mattresses in a dimly lit room. There's loss of self. The thing about this game that I like is, like Torment, it has weird names. Like, loss of self is a lot like Falls from Grace, which was a character in Planescape Torment. I like that. Finzen. Everything about the slender young man says thug, from his scar-slashed eyebrow to the calloused hand hovering over his hip where a dagger would hang. But he doesn't have one. Instead, flour kicks his hands, and a single apron string hangs from his pocket. He is apparently a baker. Stand still, you shine, he says, and peers over your shoulder. You follow his gaze to an armored soldier who is loitering in the public square. That levy's been following me for days. Can't even stop for a piss without checking side to side. You look tough. Why haven't you dealt with him? Psst, he says, waving his flower-kicked hands, his eyes wide with panic. You don't deal with a levy. You don't even talk about it. He licks his whip. Besides, I don't do that. I mean, I haven't done anything wrong. And it's worse than that, he says. That's my levy. What do you mean he's your levy? I'm a citizen, he says, as if this explains it. When it becomes clear it hasn't, he groans. Each levy is made from a citizen. This one is made from me. Look, I can't explain why, but I know that one's mine. I feel it, right? Now it's coming for me. Look, he won't leave me alone, right? I gave a year of my life to make him, and I thought that was that. Now I catch him staring in the street outside my bakery, whispering to himself, playing with that carving of his. His teeth graze his lip as he leans closer. He even tried to talk to me. Levies aren't supposed to know where they came from, right? They aren't even supposed to know who you are. He wavers, gathering his courage. Could she talk to him? Find out what he wants? Alright, sure. He nods again towards the armored man who's standing a distance away in the public square. He's the only levy in this district, so you can't miss him. Plus, he ain't smiling like all the others, and he's holding some charred wooden thing in his hand. That. You, need anything else? No. I do need to take off a cipher, though, because this is actually causing us some sickness, cipher sickness. Has 5 uses. The teleport one isn't going to be as good for us. Let's give this to him. Congratulations on your brand new teleport cipher. It's probably good for him because he'll need to teleport in combat if we ever get into combat. Before we go too far, what is this thing? This silent and ancient machine casts a long shadow. As you study it, your breath stutters in your chest and your hands shake. You can't help feeling as though you have stood in this exact spot before. Let's examine it then. A jumble of mismatched parts make up this once functional generator. You notice a familiar circonate symbol etched in the metal like a maker's mark. Let's look at it one more time. Nothing. Alright, we're leaving it alone for now.
You think that's best?
Let's go talk to the tormented levy. This levy is not like the others you've seen. The wide smile is absent and his oddly shaped eyes are red, wet, and haunted. He stares past you, whispering to himself and turning a small charred object over and over in his hands. He appears to be looking for somebody, and having spoken to Finzen, you can imagine who. The aura of shame around him is so powerful that you can practically taste it. Finzen sent me to find out why you're following him. Yes, he says, the despair melting away. In that moment he looks like a child, with a child's desperate hope. He knows too, doesn't he? He sees what he did, what we did. Tears leak from his eyes, trailing down into his mouth as he continues. When the machine ripped the year from him to make me, I felt the choices unraveling before me. He hugs himself. I see them coming. None of it can be changed. Tell him this for me. The Gillam Manor job did happen. A servant caught him, called the levies, they chased him, and he set a fire. His eyes squeezed shut. The fire spread through the neighborhood. People were trapped. People screamed. His hand clenches over the charred toy bird in his palms with a soft crunch. Please, tell him. Tell him I'm with him in the dark, hiding from the mob, sobbing. Tell him to give me a different year, a better one. What kind of year do you want? A year without the blackened door, he says earnestly, without the hand tangled in the gate, the weeping in the dark places. Silent tears stream down his face. He doesn't seem to be aware of them. Wails rising with the glowing ashes, my arms bound with a ragged rope. Every time I'm there, in those last minutes, I try to apologize, but my mouth... His fingertips brush at his lips. My mouth is full of dirt and blood. Okay, I'll go speak with Finzen about this.
That's best.
Finzen, you gave a crappy year. We want a different one. Did you find out anything? He asks, eyes darting around you to check on the distant levy. I've spoken to the levy. He mentioned something about a Gilla Manor job. He what? Finzen says, going pale. You keep your voice down. Don't tell anyone else about this. No. Good. He lowers his voice. I have to be unspecific about this, understand? Before I became a citizen, I wasn't a nice person. I took things for money, and just a few weeks ago, certain people told me they wanted me to rob Gillam Manor. He grimaces, rubbing his neck. I was going to do it, but then I became a citizen. Gave up a year of my life to create the levy. That levy. Something changed, he said, frowning. All of a sudden, I couldn't get the dangers out of my head. How thick the levy patrols were, how the captain herself was looking into one of my older adventures. He plays with the apron strings hanging from his pocket, so I cancelled the job and started working at my aunt's bakery. Never did the Gillam job, and that's the truth. The levy is seeing what would have happened if you did the job. He wants another year from you.
Remember that.
Oh, I get it, he says, rolling his eyes. It's a shakedown. Give me a year or I tell them what you did. Well, I ain't done anything. I never killed anyone. I don't owe him nothing. I can't handing out years like they're free. Based on what he said, it sounds like becoming a citizen saved your life. And that was my decision, not his. He groans. I'd go up to Government Square and tell the captain of the levies what he's up to if I had any way of explaining it. Hey, your levy is following me around. I think it's because he's haunted by my criminal past. Give the levy another year of your life. You started fresh, he should get the same chance. Little girl, are you good at talking? You're okay at talking, but you're not great. Charming Miss... Oh wait, that's the wrong guy. Charming McCharmerson should be good at talking, but he's not. 80. Ugh. How about you? 80. 80 is the best we got? Awful. Alright, I guess 80 it's gonna be. Oh, for what, he says, is exasperated. A couple bad dreams, I didn't do anything. He subsides, crossing his arms as if he's cold. Alright, what did he see in this other future? I get caught, chased around, maybe? You started a fire that killed a lot of people. How much is a lot, he says, rubbing his mouth with the back of his hand. He sees some of the truth in your eyes and sighs.
I'll remember that.
Fine, he snaps. Fine, but I ain't running myself down, searching for a way to give my life away. He rubs his eyes. The levy machine's at the Order of Truth. Go talk to the Skullars since you're so hungry for this. Maybe they can bash something together that'll rip another year from me and give it to him. He grins, but his heart is definitely not in it. Good luck.
Fine.
Good to see you again, sir, the levy says, still staring across the plaza. Tears roll silently down his cheeks. Finzen is willing to give you another year of his life, but I have more work to do before it can happen. He bows his head and nods wordlessly, tears speckling the ground between you. What are you holding? He says, then grimaces as though his words hurt him. I'm holding my shame. His hands unfold, one bloody soot-covered finger at a time. A crudely made wooden bird lies there, painted in pinks and pale blues, charred around the edges. That bird represents your shame? Represents? No, this is my shame, and I'm holding it, he swallows. I can't put it down. What does it represent? Shame. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's something
right.
I could do.
Forward.
Then we're gonna go find...
Yes.
What else do we have to do in this district? I don't think much. Oh yeah, we have to get the, find a way to get this, Steichen out. Steichus, sorry. Alright. What's this building, I wonder? Like a tavern or something? Probably tells us on the map. The Fifth Eye Tavern. That leads to the underbelly. That's our surgical parlor. That's the crashed airship. And that's about it. Alright, let's go talk to the two kids. And then we're going to try and find a way to get the Steichus out. Although we're at 24 minutes, so after the kids we might not have much left. We'll see. The girl stands outside a crumbling old house, playing the flute. She wears a simple dress, and her golden hair falls past her shoulders. The melody she plays is gentle and soft, but somehow carries to every corner of the street. As you approach, she stops playing and smiles up with large green eyes. Shins for a song, sir? How much? 8 shins for a sad song, or 12 for a happy one? Play me a sad one. It's not that sort of a song.
I'm at least 6 times better than I was seconds ago.
Can I ask you some questions? Alright. Do you feel the same way Zeb does about the Psychus? The poor thing, we're all taking care of it. The other Psycha abandoned it, and now it has no family except us. She leans in. Please don't tell anyone about it. Zeb would die if anything happened to it. Who lives at this house? Zeb and Nim and I live here, but it's their father's house. He's away. She looks back at the house. I wish you'd come back and fix it. I think it's going to fall down soon. The house is in bad shape. She points to cracks around the base of the walls. Those weren't here before, and they're getting wider. We don't go inside anymore except to wash or dress. Then we come right back out. Where did Zeb's father go? He said he was going to go work for someone named the Memovira in the Bloom. He was going to be a guard. She purses her lips. He said he would come back every now and then, but he hasn't. I don't know what's happened to him. Tell me about Zeb and Nim. They're my friends. They miss their dad a lot, but we still have fun. Zeb watches out for us, and I'm teaching Nim to play the flute. Tell me about you. I was from outside the city, but I've been here with Zeb and Nim since before their dad went away, so now I'm from here. Do you know who lived in the house next door? A lady named Skura. She was a nano-sorceress, but a nice one. She let us look at all the things in her workshop. Well, almost everything. There was a room she said she kept the Iron Wind, and we weren't allowed in her, or allowed in there. She frowns. I think maybe something bad happened to her. One day she wasn't there anymore, and she didn't say farewell. You said that a woman named Skura? Nano-sorceress, right? What do you know about the Iron Wind? Just that Skura thought it was dangerous. We never saw it, though. Maybe she's just pretending there was something bad in that room. I don't know. Well, I mean, the house is gone, so... But there's a vault door here. Can I not open the vault door? Okay. See if the girl has anything else to say. Let me ask you something. Tell me your story again. Nothing. Tell me Zeb and Nim. Nothing. Tell me he lives there again. Nothing. Okay. Nim, what do you have to say for yourself? Nim says, a little girl in a patched tunic kicks the pedal while reciting in a sing-song voice, joy, 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 sorrow, joy, 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 joy. What you playin'? She stomps her feet. You've ruined us. I was supposed to get 5 joys in a... She shrinks back as she realizes she just shouted at someone she doesn't know. My brother usually talks to all the strangers. Can I ask you some questions? Nervous, she glances at the older boy nearby. I guess? Tell me about the game you're playing. It's called Sorrow and Joy. I made it up. She starts kicking the pebble again, first with her left foot, then her right. You have to kick the rock left, right, without stopping. That's joy. If you kick it twice with the same foot, that's sorrow. 5 joys in a row means you win. 5 sorrows in a row, you lose. Is there any reason you use the word sorrow? I don't know. I just like it. Sorrow. Sorrow. Joy, joy, joy. What's your name? Is this your house? My name's Nim, and this is my daddy's house, but he's not home right now. Only me and Zeb and Avina and Mittens the monster live here now, and we're waiting for Daddy to come back. Who's Mittens the monster? He's our friend who lives in the alley. Didn't he tell you his name? Tell me about Zeb. Zeb is my big brother. He takes care of us. He has a knife. Who's Avina? She's my sister who isn't a sister. She plays the flute. Tell me who lives in your house again. Tell me about Zeb again. Tell me about Avina again. Okay, nothing new. Where's your father? He's in the Bloom being a watchman. He's coming back any day now. Where is he? In the Bloom. Can I ask you about your neighbors? Her eyes fill with tears, but she looks down the road towards one of the fallen houses. My friend used to live over there, but she... Her brother interrupts. It's okay, Nim. You don't have to talk about that. He gives you a quick shake of the head and carefully wipes his sister's eyes. Alright then.
Let's do it.
We didn't learn anything particularly interesting. What are our dominant things right now? Gold. Just straight up gold.
Here we go then.
Gold is our greatest one at the moment. There's Memovira goons here. Hi, goons.
Here we go then.
Alright, doesn't really want to talk. Right, she has the rodents.
All right.
We need to get this Stike out of here. Let's talk to Vunkin and see if we can make an excuse. I spoke to the Stikis. It said you captured it and left it. No, let's not say that. Actually, yeah, let's say that. Preposterous. It's lying to you. Why would I do such a thing? And if you spoke to the creature, does that mean you know where it is? I found the Stikis, but it's harmless. It has deformed claws. It can't dig. We should let it go. He raises an eyebrow. Harmless? I'll be the judge of that. Where is it? You notice that Lord Vunkin doesn't seem very surprised to learn of the Stikis' deformity. It's as if he already knows. I'm not telling you where it is. You'll kill it. What kind of monster do you think I am? I merely want to see justice done. I don't trust your sense of justice. Then get out of here before I tell these good people whose side you're on, traitor. You make me sick. There he is, traitor to his own kind. Will you tell us where the Stichus is, or will you let more people die? I'm starting to think you brought the Stichus to Cliff's Edge to give the people an enemy to hate. What proof do you have? The word of a Stichus? Do you think anyone would listen to it, even if they could understand it? He waves a hand. Instead of discussing this, why don't you tell me where it is when you spoke to it? I don't think I will.
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
Hey, there's a thing here. There's one for each of the pipes, apparently. And there's some weird sludge coming out of it. There's a drunk woman. Let's talk to the drunk woman. Threads, shreds, tendons bending. That's
I'm
creepy.
ready. I'm always ready.
There's a beggar. There's Finzin. Is there anything else up here that we missed? Loss of self, of course. Let us discuss things with the loss of self in the next video, though. We're at 31 minutes, so we're going to end here. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.